righty, partners. For your safety, remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train, and be sure to watch your kids. If any of you folks are wearing hats or glasses, best remove them, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Yes, sir. So says that there mystery voice way out yonder in the mines of Tumbleweed. Folks done tell me that them trains is haunted, but I don't believe in that old Injun mumbo-jumbo hocus-pocus. It ain't right. But I'm just the messenger, and y'all checked your guns when you rode into town, so I suppose that we got ourselves some old-fashioned gun control. Look, all I'm saying is that I'm just telling you what folks is telling me, yeah? Whether I believe in all that there hokum ain't got no bearing on this tale I'm making to tell you. Ain't that right, SurferClock?
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Well, tip my cow and call me Susie Joe. Don't tell me you weren't paying a lick of attention.
Sorry, just listening to my iPod. Did you say anything important?
Give me that there hoochie! Watch it!
Hey! Dude, my mom got me that for Christmas last year.
And now that bush done got itself an iPod tonight. The great circle of givin. Now quit your belly aching. We're supposed to be having an old-fashioned cowboy campfire like the desperados back in the days of old Manifest Destiny.
Your grammar is so awful, it hurts to actually listen to you. The days of what?
Manifest Destiny. The days of packing up and trekking yon Pacific way. Search of a better life, you know. Go west, young man. Go west. Aristotle, Leviticus. Look it up.
Actually, Horace Greeley, 1865.
No iPhones either!
Hey!
Now, are we going to have an old-fashioned cowboy campfire, or are we not?
This is anything but an old-fashioned cowboy campfire.
Now, what you babbling on about?
I brought s'mores.
Oh, hey, Tower Girl. We're running low on soda. Could you go get us some more?
Sorry, we're out.
Try the Wawa across the street. They should still be open.
Okay, be right back. Save me a s'more.
Exactly like the desperados of the Wild West.
Y'all can kindly kiss my saddled sword sit upon.
Hey guys, found an iPod and an iPhone. Someone just threw these out. Who does that?
Overzealous co-host, if I had to guess.
You guys didn't start your adorably quaint ghost stories, did you yet? Just because I'm out getting firewood doesn't mean I get to skip out on your adorable little tropes.
Now hold your horses, Reese. We ain't fixing to tell spooky tales of a ghostly nature. No siree. Tonight's all about ambience.
Okay, wow. Your accent is so bad you're making Larry the Cable Guy blush.
See, fellers, it may just be my hat talking, but I'm feeling mighty lonesome, like a scrawny old coyote howling at the moon. After all, we ain't done explore the wildest ride in the wilderness on the western edge of Magic Kingdom's Frontierland. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Boy, sirs, your playlists leave a lot to be desired. A guy your age should only have so many Adele songs.
You're welcome to return it at any time if it so displeases you.
Good Charlotte.
If and y'all don't mind.
Okay, fine. Thunder Mountain. Want me to start us off?
Well, that's mighty neighborly of you.
But I'm not doing an accent.
Whatever wrangles your longhorns, amigo.
From what I can tell, the idea began with former ice cream vendor, future Imagineer Generalissimo, Tony Baxter, the man who would later create Splash Mountain and Journey into Imagination, and ride design engineer Bill Watkins. Now, we know Pirates of the Caribbean wasn't planned on being in Florida, right?
On account of them highfalutin know-it-all suits claiming Floridians ain't got the patience for a pirate's ride when they so close to real pirate stomping grounds.
Yes, that. Where Pirate stands now was supposed to be the Western River Expedition, a log-flume boat ride and runaway train roller coaster celebrating the Wild West. The ride was developed by Disney legend Mark Davis, but was scrapped due to focus of attention and money on Pirates of the Caribbean's construction. But the runaway train idea was attractive to Baxter, and suggested they make it, but it got delayed due to Space Mountain's construction.
Well, that's just annoying.
Not necessarily. Space Mountain was the first ride to use computers to make the system faster and more efficient. Thanks to what they learned on space, it made the current ride smoother and more technologically sufficient.
Oh no, I mean the song you downloaded keeps skipping. What, you got this off a Bird CD?
Now, as is rightly right in Mall of Creation, the first big Thunder Mountain to open was the one way out west, out California way in '79. 'Twarn't until 1980 when the mountains and mesas of Frontierland moved east to Florida. One out in California done claimed the land of the mine train through nature's wonderland to sit upon. But if we're fixing to give credit where credit's due, they did expand the Magic Kingdom westward.
Hey, I got the sodas. Did you get to the store yet?
Not yet.
All began when gold was discovered in the town of Tumbleweed. Overnight, Tumbleweed became a mining boom town, but something mighty tragic loomed on the horizon. Supposedly, the town was sitting on top of an old Injun burial ground. Dead blasted Injuns, they think they own land out west or something.
I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut on this one.
A flash flood done crashed through Tumbleweed, and most of the townfolk up and left. Well, the sober ones anyway. Most of the rest of the town is still ballyhooing it up in the saloon. But those mining trains are still running. Might mysteriously, might I add, seeing as there ain't no engineers driving the trains. That raises a few questions. But the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad Company, in their infinite wisdom, seized this opportunity to send tourists on a hair-raising spin round the rocks. Tagline, the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Now, I'm not much of a financial investor, but that doesn't sound like a stable business model to me.
And yet, it's an extremely popular ride.
Very true. Once you enter the attraction, if you enter through the standby queue, you're subjected to various games and diversions to make your wait more enjoyable. You can set off explosions on the ride track.
The non-destructive kind, I hope.
Well, of course. There's a few others themed to mining. Oh, and keep your eye out for a painted portrait of James Baxter. Nice little Easter egg.
Sure enough.
Before long, you board your runaway locomotive, one of 6, each with their own names.
You are bold. You are daring. You are courageous. I am brave. I be hardy. And I'm fearless.
You hear Dallas McKinnon's trademark spiel about it being the wildest ride in the wilderness, and off you go. You start out shooting through some dark caverns filled with stalactites, pools, and luminescent bats that fly in lopsided circles. And at the crest of a hill and through a waterfall, down and away you go, through the washed-out town of Tumbleweed, around the mountain, through a cave full of teetering rocks, and finally through a Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton surrounded by geysers before pulling back into the station. And with that, your raucous expedition through the untamed West comes to an abrupt, if not lurching halt. So now, what do we think of this ride?
Well, I'm fixing...
Please drop the accent for the discussion.
Tower Girl finds it funny.
I really don't.
Oh, fine. Whatever.
Now, I've got to say, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, this is a true Disney classic.
It is.
I mean, even if it hasn't always been around in the Magic Kingdom Park, at least down here in the East, it certainly deserves its place, and rightly so, as one of the great classics.
Very much so.
Now, to me, this is like the perfect mid-level roller coaster. I myself am not much of a roller coaster fan, but this sits perfectly at my comfort level.
Mm-hmm.
Now, recently, what was it, 2013?
I believe so.
2013, they added all the story elements and basically just completely redid the queue.
Yeah.
The plussing of it, it may seem like a very little thing to the more casual fans, but for those who love this ride, this really cements the whole story behind it.
Yeah.
You know, there were, communities that know the story. There are folks who know what happened with this, where it's supposed to be.
But it's just kind of icing on the cake.
Yes. But this really cements it, and this brings it up to that level of Disney that we know Disney to be. They are known for telling very immersive stories, and with the whole retheming and all the games, this really brings it up to that level. I feel like it's more than just a loose distraction. This really gets you into the mindset of the roller coaster you're about to ride. So, big kudos on that plussing there.
I think the coaster itself is a lot of fun. A lot of tight turns and a lot of very speedy moments and a lot of great detail. I mean, the theme itself, this whole idyllic Western thing, is just fantastic.
The thing with the details is blink and you'll miss them.
Yeah.
It's almost a shame that there are such great details that you just fly right by at about 36 miles an hour. That being said, I really like this ride better during the day than at night. Mm-hmm. That's just a personal preference of my own. Just because you can take in all the details. And speaking of tight, it is a little tight for me just as a person. I know these are more supposed to be family rides, it's supposed to be, father and son, mother and sister, and and all that good stuff. It's just a little tight for me as a bigger guy. I don't know, maybe I need to lose a little weight. But honestly, that's really my only complaint about this attraction. There's this thing that they did at the Disneyland one, the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
They have like the very last scene where they have like these bombs that kind of go off.
Yeah, the fuses going and they spark and then it all blows up.
Now, as of the time of this recording, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is actually going to go down for another refurbishment here soon.
And they're going to be adding that.
So that's confirmed?
Yes, that's confirmed. They are adding that.
Sweet.
So we can all look forward to that. So your one complaint is that you have trouble fitting into the seats.
Yes, honestly that's really the only thing that I really see as being any sort of a downer. This is not only is this a roller coaster at my comfort level, but I really enjoy it.
See, my one complaint is the caverns you go through in the first scenes. I mean, it's fun and I like it, but let's be honest, boy is it loud. You're in this you're in this coaster that was built in 1980, and you're in this cavern where everything echoes off the walls, and it just reflects back at you, and man, it's just ear splitting. And not to mention those bats that clearly need an update on their track.
I think with the upcoming refurbishment, that's probably one of the things they're going to fix.
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah, that loud kind of clacking, I mean, I always just figured that was kind of part of just the way the track was. I never found it too grating or distracting myself.
For me, it almost hurts.
Okay.
And of course, when I was a kid, I had one of the VHSs of Disney Sing-Along, and they go to Disneyland. And they when they do Zippity Doodah, they're on Matterhorn, Splash, and Thunder Mountain. So now every time I ride Thunder Mountain, I'm always singing Zippity Doodah at the top of my lungs, even though theoretically that's supposed to be just Splash Mountain.
Yeah, I mean that's those Disneyland the sing-along songs were kind of a big part of our childhood. So I certainly don't blame you there.
And the only other thing I really wanted to bring up was something that I'm probably going to get a lot of hate mail for. One of my guilty pleasures in Disney movies is that 2004 flop Home on the Range. It did very poorly at the box office and was supposed to spell N for Disney animation, hand-drawn animation. But I've always wondered if there would be any sort of benefit to adding subtle Easter eggs to the movie on the ride. Like have Lucky Jack, the peg-legged jackrabbit, holding up like the sign for the safety spiels, or you could have like the cows in one of the portraits or something.
As much fun as that might be, and definitely for those folks who enjoyed that movie, what few there may be, I just don't know if it would mesh with the story that they've already created. I feel like the way that they have the story now, it's perfect.
Well, I'm not saying mess with the story, but you could always do something a little extra.
I guess it would be Disney cute, and cute is not really something you want to associate with your rides. I don't know. I mean, I guess if they wanted to fit it in as a little bit of a joke, but I don't think kids are exactly going to be turning and going, "Oh, Mommy, look at that peg-legged rabbit. We should get a plush figure of him." Yeah.
If Disney thought they would make money off it, they would do it.
I just don't think that it would be, from a marketing standpoint, it really just doesn't work for me.
Okay.
I like the story as it is. I really hope they don't change it too much. Hearing that they're going to refurbish it and add the Disneyland explosions on there at the very end, that's going to be really awesome. So, honestly, like I said, for me, this is like the perfect comfort level for me in terms of roller coasters. If I had to choose between Thunder Mountain and Space Mountain, I'm going Big Thunder every time, just because it sits right there at that perfect comfort level for me. So I'm going to go ahead and give Big Thunder Mountain Railroad a 4.5 out of 5.
And I have to give it a 4 out of 5.
Alright, so that's a 4.5 out of 5 from SurferClock and a 4 out of 5 from TAP-G. Now, Thunder Mountain has a height requirement of 40 inches or 102 centimeters tall. Kids must be at least 7 years of age or older to ride, and if younger, must be accompanied by someone at least 14 years of age or older. Now, those in wheelchairs and scooters must be able to transfer, and service animals are not allowed to ride. And, as with all roller coasters, make sure you're free from back, neck, or heart problems, and if you're pregnant, you may want to opt out. And that goes with those who suffer from motion sickness as well.
And hang on to them personal belongings now, especially them hats and glasses, because this here's the wild.
Yeah, let's not overdo the bit.
Just trying to make Mr. Dallas McKenna proud.
So, can we recommend it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like an ice cold sarsaparilla.
Yeah, it's hard not to enjoy this ride. By roller coaster standards, it's pretty tame. No loops, no crazy speeds, no inversions. Just a top speed of 36 miles per hour around some tight turns, in and out of mining shafts and caverns. It's a great intermediate roller coaster for family and friends who aren't quite ready for Expedition Everest or Rockin' Roller Coaster. It's got great theming and, yeah, it's a classic for a reason.
More fun than a riding a cactus drive on a Saturday night.
That raises a lot of questions.
Questions I don't want answers to.
Woohoo! Actually, on a cactus drive, it's more of a wahoo.
No, the new season of Daredevil is out.
Ooh, this is the season with the Punisher.
I heard there was going to be a Jessica Jones crossover.
Hey! What the sarsaparilla sipping Sam Hill y'all doing? It's supposed to be an old-fashioned...
Stick a sock in the tappers. The man without fear is about to save Hex Kitchen. Ha!
Might as well do what us lonely cowboys do and the open prairies do. Sing a lonely cowboy song. Oh, shut up! Fine. I'll just watch Orange is the New Black.
All parties.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother ducker.